could run it back, and do you wonder if we could all of the things I didn't know?
16th of May, 2023. Here I am. This is my new home. Going back to Paris and opening a new chapter in my life.
Circles round they go. It's hard when you keep close. Rewind with my eyes closed. Might need a breather. Got lost in the B-roll. Let all the wind blow to learn how the world goes. We didn't know how to move on. If we could run it, if we could run it back, and do you wonder if we could run it back? If we could run it, if we could run it back, and do you wonder if we could all of the things I did?
This was the last piece of 2023 that I needed to do for myself. Yay! I've decided to leave my agency, my modeling agency.
Caught in the circles round they go.
Mwah. Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today we're doing something extremely different from what I'm used to putting out here on this channel, but I really felt like I wanted to share this with you. I'm gonna do a little video about what I do to set myself up for the best for 2024. I have to apologize for the noise around me. There is a lot of constructions in my building right now. Unfortunately, if I wait for them to not make any noise, I'll probably start filming again in 2025. The way that I wanted to start this video was firstly, review my 2023. So for me, 2023 was tough, full of very unexpected obstacles, I would say. I really was challenged in different aspects of my life. So in my personal life, in my love life, in my family life, and in my work life. But I'm proud to say that even though this year was really hard, I would say, to get through, it was also one of the best years in my life because it was so transformative, because I've learned so much about life. I've learned so much about myself in ways that without these obstacles, I wouldn't have been able. I wanted to touch of a subject to start is that I've been asked a lot, like, how do you say so positive? You look very positive. And I wanted to share with you the way I see life is very dual. I think everything has good or bad. Everything has a feminine, masculine. And I see the world as the yin and the yang. If you're faced with a bad situation, whatever that is, I can 100% assure you that if you really think about it very hard, you will find good in it. It is 100%. Sometimes it's very hard to find, but you will always find a good lesson to have. So everything is about perspective. When you change that in your life and you start finding good, even in bad moments, I promise you that it will really change your heart and change your life in a more easy and positive way. I think it's very important to accept that your life will be challenged. Don't ever believe you're going to go through life blissfully. You will be challenged. These challenges are there to teach you things, are there to make you grow. The other thing that 2023 has taught me is intuition and gut feeling. The reason I'm talking about this is that I have never in my whole entire life, I've never listened to my gut feeling as much as this year. And I think it's because I was faced with things that were very new to me. For example, deciding to break up with a partner that I had been for 7 years, very new. And so at some point I really was at crossroads, and I think needed to let go. And I started to just sit with myself in silence, and I started to listen to my intuition. And ever since I have completely let go of thinking too much with my brain, but I've been really aligning my brain with my gut. Well, guess what? I have never felt more aligned and more alive in my life. But the thing is, when I thought about intuition, I would think, where the F is this coming from? I needed to have a rational explanation to intuition and gut feeling, because in the first time in my life, I was really feeling it, listening to it, and actually felt rewarded from it. Funny enough, without even looking for it, I started getting these like explanation from doctors, that talk about intuition and gut feeling. One was from Dr. Tara Swart. It was in the podcast called The Diary of a CEO. Highly recommend. I will of course link all the videos that I talk about, all the books that I talk about in the description. At some point she talked about intuition. She said, intuition is actually all the things that happen to you in life, all the things you experienced in life. Unfortunately, you cannot remember everything that happened to you, right? So when your intuition comes up and tells you this is safe, this is not safe, it's actually all these little moments of your life that are speaking to you and telling you this is the right path to go to, because you have built up all this knowledge in your life that you're not very conscious of because it would be way too much information, but here it is. And I thought that was such an interesting way of seeing intuition. Now let's get on to the practical things, the things that I do to really set up my year. So as I've said in my previous vlogs, there are 2 moments in the year where I kind of do a cleanup, or I kind of try to review what's going on in my life. It's usually September, so right after summer vacation, you feel refreshed, you feel full of energy, full of vitamin D, so I get super excited for the end of the year. And then the second time is in January. It's very basic, and you don't have to wait for January, and you don't have to put pressure on yourself for January. You could do it whenever you feel is the best time for yourself. I like to deep clean certain spaces of my apartment, any closet that's haven't been attended, and I just started shoving things inside. I get everything out. I could get all the junk out because it just feels so much more enjoyable to be in a very minimalistic environment. The second thing that I do, and this might seem very weird, but I clean my digital life. So I know people are gonna find that extremely weird, but I think that today our digital life is literally as important as our bedroom, our environment, our closet. We have phones and computer where we hoard pictures and content and information and files that we don't need. And then what happened in our everyday life is that when we look for things in our digital world, we can't find them. So before I start the new year, I clean my camera roll. I delete 350 pictures that I did of the same sunset. You know what I do? I start this beginning of December, and I start January, February, and I clean my camera roll. I clean my notes. I clean my desktop. I just really like to start the year fresh in my digital life. Next up, all year round, I journal. It is the one thing that I do that really soothes my soul. That really helps me. I've been journaling since I'm a teenager, so it's really something that is just part of me. One thing about journaling for me is that I do not do it every day. I do it when I need it. I do it as a form of therapy. I do it when I want to talk about something great that happened. I do it when I feel sad, and I write about my feelings. So sometimes I'm going to write every day for 10 days, and then I'm not going to write anything for a month. But I really do it when I need to put my feelings on a page. I know it's very intimidating for certain people to have this blank page and be like, what am I supposed to write about? I think you get used with time. If you feel like it's very hard to start, I know there's a lot of prompt questions you can find online that can help you and guide you into journaling. So at the end of the year, what I do is I read my journal. I read my whole year. I'm not gonna read every line or whatever, but I just go through it and I read some passages and I read some dates that feel important. and I really sink into everything that's happened throughout the year, how I felt about it, and most importantly, it just really shows you how you go through the motions in a year, how many things happen, good and bad, and how you go through all these feelings, but ultimately, we all get through everything. Then I do something that I love, 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 love. I write a letter and I put the date at the 31st of December of 2024. So this year I'll do 2024. And I write a letter as if I was telling someone about my year. And I dream about my year. And I really get into details and I write about everything that happened and how it happened. I cannot express the feeling of this exercise. It gets you so excited for your year. It helps you really sit into the feeling of accomplishing the things you want for yourself. And it helps you understand what you want for yourself, also for your life. I know a lot of people like to write down goals, review them every month. I've tried it. It never stuck to me. I cannot be this consistent with writing goals. I don't go back to it. They don't work for me. But doing this exercise every year gives me such a beautiful big picture of what I want. I sit with myself. I'm going to write 10 pages if I have to, but I'm going to write everything that I want, and I'm going to write how I feel about it. You have to get into the details because that's what's going to get you so excited. You have no idea. This is just going to trigger a beautiful feeling inside of you, and it's going to help you see such a beautiful big picture. The second thing that I do after doing the letter is I visualize it. To visualize it, I do a vision board. Vision boards are so important because you kind of take that big picture that you wrote in your letter and you put it in images. So it kind of like you take it from that dreamy world and you put it into more of a physical intention. And I think it is so important to see what you want for yourself. You can go as far as photoshopping yourself in your dream job, or you with your diploma. Just like go very far in what you want to visualize, because it has an impact you have no idea. And this takes me to my last point. I read a book called The Power of Your Subconscious Mind by Joseph Murphy. And it was an incredible book for me to truly understand how your subconscious mind works with your conscious mind and how your thoughts have such a huge impact on your actual life. I just want to make a link to the things that I do, which is writing this letter and doing a vision board. All of this is literally planting seeds inside of your subconscious mind. Because what happens is you have your conscious and your subconscious mind, right? Your conscious mind is the one that's going to think the thoughts. These thoughts go into your subconscious mind, and your subconscious mind does not know how to make a difference between good and bad ones. So this is why you have to be very careful with the thoughts you have, because whatever thoughts you're going to give, your subconscious mind is going to eat them up and plant the seeds. This is how I now see, and this is how he explains them. This is how I see my subconscious mind. My subconscious mind is a garden, and if I decide to put plenty of bad seeds, bad things are probably going to happen from that, right? So this is how he explained it, and I think it just made so much sense when I read the book, and I loved reading the book because I really now understood the point of the subconscious mind and how it manifests itself in my everyday life. This vision board and this letter is literally going to plant beautiful seeds inside of your brain, and you're going to be able to build a life that will make you happy. And then there was another example that he gives in the book. He says you get into a cab and then you give him 10 different directions. What happens to the cab? The cab driver, he's going to get very frustrated and he's just going to say, I can't drive anymore. Or please collect your thoughts and then give me a final address. This is the same thing with your mind. This is why it's so important to give to your subconscious a clear-cut idea of what you want for yourself. And if you've never done this before, the first few times it's hard. And then, like everything, you need to exercise and think about it and take the time to sit with yourself and think about it. It is normal that the first times are going to be frustrating. Like everything new in life, it can get frustrating. Journaling can be frustrating at first. Meditation can be frustrating. Thinking about what you want for yourself can be very frustrating also. And really, if you have a hard time thinking about those things, just maybe start little, like everything in life. Just start little. Start thinking, what would make me happy tomorrow? What would make me happy this month? If having too much of a big picture is overwhelming sometimes, then think about the little things and start small. And then little by little, you'll build up. Fourth thing that I wanted to talk about is books to read to set yourself up for 2024. These are all books that I read that have helped me tremendously in my life because they all had amazing lessons and amazing things to take from them. So the first one is, of course, The Power of the Subconscious Mind by Joseph Murphy. The second one is really my favorite. And if you're very new to all of this world of thinking about your life, thinking about your thoughts, then this is the book you should read before any of the others that I'm going to talk about. You Are a Badass: How to Stop Doubting Your Greatness and Start Living an Awesome Life by Jen Sincero. Amazing book. Has all the concepts you need to understand how to create the life you deserve. A great book. It's written incredibly well, super easy to read, and I absolutely loved it. The other book, and I've spoken about it in my vlogs, that really helped me is called Mindset by Perel S. Dweck. Changing the way you think to fulfill your potential. So she talks about the theory of the fixed mindset or the growth mindset. Just to me was extremely liberating to show how you can just change everything you want in life by your mindset. Another one, and this is for habits, it's called Atomic Habits by James Clear. Tiny changes, remarkable results. He has amazing way of implementing habits in your life. He gives you tips and tricks to do it that are very effective. Worked for me so many times, and this book is amazing. And last but not least, because I think that we are very sometimes focused on ourselves, our personal growth, and we put on a second plan the quality of our relationships. But the quality of our relationships is actually what contributes to a healthy lifestyle. If you've seen this TV show on Netflix called, I don't know what it's called, but I'll put the picture here. It's about the blue zones in the world. The blue zones are the places in the world where people live the longest. One of the things that made the people live longer was the quality of their relationships. So, and by relationships, love relationships, family relationship, friendships, all of that together. Two books that for me were very beautiful. The first one is Conversation on Love by Natasha Loon. It's a conversation with different people about love, but love in friendship, love in parenting, love in relationships. I thought it was a very beautiful book about love and all the aspects of love. And it opens our eyes on how we sometimes are very focused on love relationships and not enough on all of our relationships in life, and how there is love in all of them. And it was a very beautiful book about love. And then the second one, and it is by one of my favorite people on earth. Her name is Esther Perel. She is a couples therapist, one of the most famous in the world. I will link below several things from her. I'll link below the book that I'm going to talk about. I'll link below the TED Talk she did about desire, which was the secret to desire in a long-term relationship. The concepts she talks about in this TED Talk are so enlightening, so interesting, so important for our society today, because love relationships have really evolved with time, and especially today, that anyone that wants to ever be in a relationship or is in a relationship has to listen to it. But if you really want to go further in that, and I recommend reading this book because I absolutely loved it. It's called Mating in Captivity: Can We Desire What We Already Have? She gives as an example all of her therapies, and she's going to explain how she helped each couple in each situation, and you're going to be able to kind of learn beautiful lessons about relationships. This is the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know if this was weird coming from me, as this is very new. If this was boring, or if you've learned a few things, please let me know. If you do anything to set yourself up for the year, please share it with me down below. I would love to know. Happy New Year, guys. I wish you all an amazing year full of adventure, love, light, great health, and happiness. Yep. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.